Okay, today I'm going to be sharing what my rising 7th grader has been reading this summer. Welcome to Learning with Boys. My name is Rachel. I am a homeschool mom of 4 boys. I have graduated too. This coming year, I'm going to have a 7th grader and my senior, a 3rd senior. So excited and a little emotional about that. But my 7th grader, who just turned 12 in the spring, loves to read. And you'll probably see a little bit of what he is interested in by the books I'm going to show you. Now, I did give him a few books out of his interest because I'm trying to help him realize there's other things to read out there. So I did get some books from the library and another book, and I'll tell you his reviews on those. But he is a World War II buff, but he does like other things about different battles, World War I, the Civil War. His interest is spreading out. So I am excited because we are going to do early American history this fall, and we do use living books for that curriculum we use, and I'll link that video of our picks below. But it is getting harder to find books at this age for him to read, just that are appropriate, that have the right language in it. A couple of these books I pre-read because there was some questionable things in it, and it wasn't a lot, but it was actually pretty neat. I enjoyed reading them, so it was fine. Now, there was a few other books that I had purchased, and I'm trying to remember. I think I did a video on what I purchased for him. I don't remember. Either that or I mentioned it on my Instagram. But we just didn't even, I think he started and told me a couple things. I'm like, okay, let's just, and it wasn't that they were like bad, like in a way, like vulgar or language. It just was something more of, we didn't really care to read right now. Maybe when he's older. But I am going to share the books that he has read and a couple that we read together. And like I said, I pre-read a few of them. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the books that we read together. Actually, one was an audio, but we listened to it together. The first book which I was very excited about, was Boys in the Boat. I have had my eye on this book for a long time. I wish I would have purchased it years ago for my older boys to read, but of course you can listen to it on Audible, and a couple of my boys would more likely listen to it that way. This version is adapted for the young reader, but I still thought it was really, really good. I thought, man, I can't imagine what the full book is like. But it is the true story of an American team's epic journey to win gold in the 1938 Olympics. Now the book, this is the state of Washington and the college. I will tell you that. There is a movie out. Let me know if you have seen it. We have not seen it. I don't even know if we'll watch it anytime soon. I'm not sure. We enjoyed the book so much. But it is mainly does evolve around one of the boys' lives, which is full of hardship. A lot of them were at that time because of the 1930s. It was a hard time. So it goes into detail and depth about that early on before they really get into the rowing. So I will tell you that. But it was all really good. So we enjoyed reading this together. And I think even at this age that my other boys enjoyed books being read out loud, enjoying the journey of a story together. So even if it's only a few books a year, it's just fun, especially this book. This was really good to read aloud and enjoy it together with him. So now the book we listened to on audio was C.T. Studd. I actually have the book. I have read it to my older boys, and it was really good. This is a Christian Heroes Then and Now, and it is about a young English boy, very educated, was an expert in sports, but through circumstances, God calls him to the mission field to China and then Africa, and he just spends his life serving for the Lord. So this was a good book. He said that he enjoyed that. We listened to it together. Okay, let me start with some of the books he first read early summer. A couple of them are library books, actually. And this one, The Perilous Road, he said he enjoyed it. He said he would give it a 4 out of 5, mainly because it is about the Civil War. So like I said, that is what he is interested in, is something that would evolve around that. It is about a young boy who is a Confederate. I sort of read the back. He read it. I have not read it, but I have seen this, and not our curriculum that we use, but I have seen it in other book lists. So that's why I grabbed it at the library. There's some spying going on, all kinds of things. So he enjoyed this book. It's just a historical fiction. So, all right, Caught in the Act. This is an orphan train adventure. This is one I think I recently got from Christian Book Distributors. I just wasn't sure. I think there's like a whole series. So what I usually do is I just try to buy one to see if he's even interested. And he really didn't care for the book, and I will tell you why. Because it was more of the story of the life of the boy and his personal life struggles, having to move away from his mom and move in with another family and a brother. And he would be more interested in if there was a war or a battle going on. That's just his mindset. So this sort of drags on. He did read it, so it couldn't have been too bad, but it wasn't his favorite. So I will tell you that. But some people might like these kind of reads. So I'm sure it gives a lot of history and really even some geography in it. All right, another book, Snow Treasures, and I have read this book to him, but it's probably been a few years ago, so he was quite younger. But this is a very good book. He enjoyed it. He said 4 out of 5. It is based on actual events of some children who are trying to help their country, Norway, and they use their sleds to do that. So it's a really good book, and we got this one at the library. So, all right, this is My Name is America. These are pretty popular. You can get a lot of these at the library, but this one I could not find, but I knew he wanted ones on World War II. So this is the account of a World War II soldier during D-Day. He loved it. He just loved hearing it from the actual person. So these are really, really good books. Especially, like even 4th grade, some of them would be like, but 4th through 8th grade be great books for that. They're not hard reads. They're more in a journal form. So, okay, another book that I got at the library was Danger in the Desert. I had gotten this from the library years ago for one of my older boys, and he liked it. It is about, it's called True Adventures of a Dinosaur Hunter. The thing that he wasn't that crazy about is he's not a Christian. So it did mention some things from a non-Christian worldview. It is about Roy Chapman Andrews looks for adventure and found it while leading scientific expeditions for American Museum of Natural History. So it does talk about his adventures and that type of thing, but it wasn't his favorite. But on the other hand, one of my other boys read it and he enjoyed it. So, but as long as you keep in mind, we are a Christian family. We do teach about literal 6 days of creation, and we do have a Christian worldview. So I'm glad that he sees that and understands that, and my older son did too. We talked about that, but it was neat to see what men did to discover different things. So the rest are books that I know I purchased. And these 2 books I did read. He does like World War II, like I said, anything with wars or battles in it. So there was 2 books, Behind Enemy Lines, and this was about a young pilot's story that him and some of the other guys he was with had to bail out. The plane crashed, and just their survival at the beginning. And it was in Holland, so it's really neat to see what those people would do for Americans, and knowing that we were there for them. And he ended up being captured, and just seeing the difference. For me, I've read a lot about different concentration camps and death camps, so it was different to see the point of view from a POW. So that was interesting. I was even talking to my boys about that, and they were like, yeah, they agreed how it was all a little bit different, but just how the people in Holland really put their own lives at the stake to help Americans. So it was really good, and he really enjoyed it. All right. The other book is a very thin book, but it's 47 Days, The True Story of Two Teen Boys Defying Hitler's Reich. So this is an excerpt from a novel, Surviving the Fatherland. But this book was just about the two teen boys. I haven't read the other book, so I don't know anything about it. I just know that this was very interesting. These were two German boys who were called out with the other boys in their town to come serve, and they had to actually, I mean, they were poor. They had nothing. Everything had already been destroyed in their small town, and they just wanted to be with their family and help. Like, this one boy wanted just to be with his mom and be able to help her because his dad and brother had already left, and they had no idea what happened to them. And he kept hearing that, you're just going to be sent out there and killed. But they also kept hearing that the war was almost over. So this is based on a true story. So two friends decide to not arrive. They went, they left, and they were gone for 47 days. So I will leave it at that. It was really good. Now these are the two books I did pre-read because there was some questionable things in here. So I went ahead and just pre-read it for him. That's why I read it, but I'm glad I did. And this was short enough, and I was curious enough that I went ahead and just pre-read this book too, and it was good. And he liked both of these. So, all right, the last two books are probably his favorite, and they're both from Beautiful Feet books. They are by Albert Marin, and The Yanks Are Coming, the United States in the First World War. So this, I'm going to read because he really liked it, and he had explained it to me. He said it really gave views on different areas, like the home front, the sea warfare, the trench warfare, the air warfare, and things like that. So he felt like he really learned a lot. They do have pictures in them. So let me see. But they are, they're black and white. I don't know if you could see them. So he read through this pretty quickly. Once he picks up something like this that he's that interested in, it's hard for him to put down. So now the other one was Victory in the Pacific, which talked about World War II and just the different battles there. He said what he liked about this book is when it brought you into a battle, is telling you about it, but then it stops and explains the machinery, like the ships and the submarines and how their weapons worked. So he was all into that. And this is also by Beautiful Feet. So this was really good. We have a few more books, and I think they're all by Albert Marin. So I'm sort of curious how he will like those. I think they're more for the upper middle school, high school. So we'll see. But wanted to share that with you. All right. So that is what he has read this summer. I cannot believe the summer's almost over. Only a couple more weeks for us before hopefully and prayerfully we get started. I have not even begun to plan. So hopefully I'll be sharing some videos with you about that and some other things coming up soon. So if you enjoy homeschool content, past and present, I would love for you to join us by subscribing. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much.